Hello, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday with 3W. Wellness Wednesday is sponsored by 3W Medical for Women, a nonprofit medical clinic offering free of charge or low-cost women's health services in the Seattle area, regardless of income or insurance status. 3W does not profit off of the health choices women make. The information shared in this podcast is the opinion of the speaker or speakers. Medical information is not intended as individual medical consultation, but for general education only. Always talk to or consult your own health professional for personalized advice regarding medical decisions. And if you're in the Seattle area, consider making an appointment to consult with us. I'm Helen Nguyen, CEO of WAMS/3W Medical for Women, and the host of today's podcast.
Hi there, Wellness Wednesday listeners. I am back in the studio. This is actually one of my favorite podcasts because I get to sit down with my team and chat about our year. And it's always such a wonderful time to wrap up the year of so much growth and accomplishments and struggles and chaos. But it's a time for us to share from our hearts to all of you, our listeners, some memorable moments, accomplishments, and things that really resonated with us through the year. And I have in the studio with me Juliette Louie, our advancement director, and Sujin, who is our office manager over in the medical team. These two ladies have been such a joy to be in this mission alongside them. And I really have such a cool job, guys, that I get to work with people from all different walks of life, all different age groups, all different experiences, and they come in and they give their best and they give their all, they show up, and I get to not have pressure of knowing everything. And that is the best part of being in leadership, right? Is one of my coaches said, hire people that are smarter than you. That has been one of the best advice. And I just get to ride their coattails and they get to do smart things and I get to take credit for it half of the time. So that's my team. And so, Juliette, we're going to start with you. There are 3 questions that we're going to go over today, kind of loosely, but what are some memorable moments for you this year, and what would you like to share with our listeners?
All right. Well, thanks for letting me be part of this conversation. Very exciting. Hands down, most memorable moment was when Heather did an ultrasound for my daughter, and my son-in-law was in the room too. And we got to see my first grandchild on the screen and healthy. And just that kind of blew my mind just to be in that exam room and to see new addition to our family. And then Dr. Rutherford helped us to identify gender so we could have a gender reveal party. And I just felt this is a really special place and for so many reasons, but this year particularly, really meaningful to be connected with such loving and caring clinicians who just yesterday at our Christmas party asked, how's Becca doing? How's the baby doing? And remembering that appointment. So loved it.
Oh.
Sorry, my voice is so scruffy.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. It's a one in a lifetime kind of experience, right? That first time.
Yes, the first image that we ever got of it's a little girl. So very mind-blowing.
Yes. Yeah. And were you able to see the heartbeat and everything?
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
It's
so cool.
Yeah, just next level.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. And thank you for trusting our clinicians who I'm sure it was a great joy for them to be in that moment with you as well. So
yeah, we just felt so safe. We felt so unrushed, and there was just so much joy in the room and fascination.
Yeah, how can that little thing be in there? It always blows my mind. Whenever I see, so we had a little staff party, Christmas party yesterday. Whenever I see Lottie Lawrence, our executive assistant's baby, I'm always like, how was she inside you? And now she's outside of you and she's huge. It's just like, I don't even know how to calculate that in my mind.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Well, for sure. Seeing Lottie, I was thinking I need to practice.
Yeah.
My arms are already tired holding her. Like I need to get strong for that upcoming baby.
Yes. Yeah. How about you, Sujin? What was your memorable moment this year?
I would say one of my most memorable moments was this tabling that we did at the chow down. It was just very interesting to meet like all types of people just walking through the Ave and getting to know like their level of knowledge. Like we did a little trivia where we would ask them like basic like reproductive questions, and it's just very interesting to see like the different levels of education that like people have received and like keep and retain. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah, it was very fun. We got to, we also went around and like tried a bunch of food as well.
That's always the best part.
It's always the best part.
Yeah.
Do you remember what was the most interesting trivia question or the most puzzling one for people? Because I remember
I think
there's some really like, wow, really kind of moments at Chowdown and
I
tabling.
think a lot of people didn't really remember or like get the question of like how long a sperm like stays.
Lives in a woman's
lives in a woman's body.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. So that was also like interesting to see
Eye-opening.
people's reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those questions and I love those moments. They were like, 24 hours? And I was like, no. 7 days.
I know.
Upwards of 7 days. And they're like,
Exactly.
what the heck? Yeah, those little suckers just like set up camp. They want to stay. It's nice. It's nice there. They don't want to leave. And they're just like, but why? Why will you stay there for so long? Yeah, those. No, I think one of my favorite questions at one of those, tabling events is how many eggs does a woman have?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that
that's a
one
good
too.
one.
That one is so
It's so
good.
funny.
Especially from the guys. Like I remember one guy like
Was that?
he was like 10.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend was like looking at him like you could just see the wheels in her eyes going like, do I really want to be with this person right now? Like that was such a dumb a dumb answer. And she was like, there are people that have had more than 10 kids. And he's just like, oh, didn't really think about that. And she's like, I think she like hit him. Like she was like this,
Right.
So I love those moments where you're just like, oh, I never really thought about it like that. Thank you for educating me. So it's good.
Because the answer is
Like 2 million or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't done it in a while. 2 million? Yeah, it's in the millions. Yeah.
it's amazing.
I know.
The human body.
No, how do they all fit up in there? Okay, for me, memorable moments from this year. There has been so many, but I think one of the first ones that come to mind is, and shout out to Amber, our clinic director, for accomplishing this year, is providing once a month Saturday appointments. That has been on my bucket list for so long. Just expanding our hours and expanding our reach. And the response has been really positive by the women in our community, just because, usually the appointment slots are full. There's very low cancellation rates. And the joy that our medical providers and assistants receive from it themselves was really affirming that was the right direction to go. So, whenever we can make it easy and accessible for our patients to come when they can, because people work and it's hard for you to get off of work. And there's a lot of people that depend on that paycheck, so they can't just take off time to go. So making it available on a day off for people, I want to do that more and more in the new year. Hopefully, not just once a month, but multiple times a month. And we'll get there. And hopefully that will continuously make a difference in the community. So that was one of those big ones that I'm like, it's never gonna happen. And then it happened. So I was like, yay. And we really lucked out this year on bringing on 2 providers that have been such a joy. I mean, and these women are bright and they care deeply for people. And so medical providers that fit not only our values and what we're looking for is far and few in between in this area.
Yeah.
And so having not one, but 2 of them come on this year, I think has been really
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing and life-changing for all of us, and especially the patients that get to interact with them. That has been really awesome as well. And the generosity of our donors. That
yes.
They continue to just pour into us and support us and ask very little in return.
Right.
Very little, if not anything, in return. And that continues to amaze me that people give so generously. So never a dull moment in this work. Every day, something new. If you want something constant, this is not your vibe. But that keeps us on our toes. Keeps us young. Keeps us young. Okay, next question. What accomplishments are you most proud of us at the clinic for this year, Juliet? What do you think, and why?
Okay. Well, when I was thinking of this question, so many things came to mind, but I'll highlight a few. Not to embarrass you, Sujan, but I'm really proud of you. I was thinking of how your learning curve was really steep and you just said yes and jumped in. And then you have phlebotomy under your belt.
Yes, I know.
And when you showed us an example of how, you find the vein and all that.
So cool.
I was like, wow, Sujan. And then I heard later that you're pretty good at it. So very well done. So proud of you, and just watching you grow and mature and find your place and your voice, and you bring and I've seen the review. Excuse me, I've seen the reviews that from you're the first impression, right?
Yes.
And they walk in and they feel so welcome by you. So,
Sujan's role is so important.
yeah.
Yeah, she's the first voice and face of our organization. And so it's a big deal. It's a big deal to people. And to think we met doing our hair.
Oh yeah,
Isn't that fun?
I love that.
We met getting our hair permed.
Okay, listeners, both Helen and Sujan have amazing hair.
Shout out.
Amazing.
Shout out to our Korean digital perms, right? Yeah, we met at a salon and struck up a conversation, and here she is. Wild.
Crazy how life
I
takes
know.
us.
I know. So
But thank you, Juliet.
Oh,
And shout
sure.
out to the clinic for sponsoring my class.
you just can never leave now. Yeah.
You're
What else?
stuck with me.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. What else, Juliet?
Oh, okay. Definitely cello. Cello also was new this year and jumped right in. And her task, not easy. As our campaign coordinator, I have been so impressed and proud of her for juggling many tasks with just elan and just so much maturity, and what would have stressed me out, she carries so well. And yeah, taking on that steep learning curve and just being part of the team right away. So proud of her and watching her grow. I'm like the mom of the team over
Yes.
here, and these young ladies that I get to see. It fills my heart, and it gives me a lot of joy to be part of kind of watching this next gen, your generation, Sujan, figure out what your callings are and where your strengths are, and be part of a team. So it's just been a joy. And I was really sad because, Teresa, who we adored so much and loved to work with, she moved on to some other projects, and then cello stepped in. And it was like, oh, I was so thankful. Cello and Teresa, both so precious, and the transition was so smooth. And so there was grief, but then there was joy. So, and then Isabel, also watching her take on social media, because oh my gosh, social media is like
So
something it's like a different world that I'm not familiar with. So watching Isabel take on that task of seeing what's trending and plugging us into that world so that people can find out about us, and also just see how much fun we're having. And she has a sense of humor, and she has an acting kind of flair too. So I think that's been really fun to watch her grow into that task and that heart and that mission, and such a powerful platform. So great job, Isabel.
Yes, Boncello.
And just lastly, and I hope it's okay to share about this, Mike, but I know it was a really tough year personally with loss in your family, and I've just been really amazed by your steadfastness in the midst of grieving and mourning and just persevering and showing strength and faith even when it was really hard. So it's been a hard year just in many ways for our team in personal ways, and especially for Mike. So really proud of Mike. And he produces so much incredible content for us, from editing, proofreading, website, video. He'll be editing this podcast. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
He just high standard of work. So just really proud of him.
Yeah. We have a solid team of really talented people. Yeah.
For sure.
And you are so right. You're our den mom. We will die. We are so spoiled by you. Please don't believe us.
I love it.
I know. You love it, and we love that you love it. We very much love that you love it. Yeah. How about you, Sujin?
Let's see. Oh, I'm most proud of our winning the best PNW twice in a row. It just really goes to show like that all the work that we're putting in really like resonates with our patients and the people around us, and like our mission really means like it's people want that, like people are having craving for that. So it just really shows that like all this work is really doing something. I think it's amazing that we were able to win that like now twice in a row.
I know. Our tiny little thing.
Like
winning gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not expect that again this year.
Oh, it's crazy.
I thought it was a joke last year. And then finding out it was real was great. And then this year I was like, no. Maybe silver, maybe bronze.
Right.
But
I think we deserve it. No, I think we deserve it.
I do too, but you know, I don't want to be, too arrogant about it, even though I think we should win it every year. But I was like, whoa, that's so good. Why? And then I was like, of course.
Look at our providers.
I know. And it takes a team. It takes a village of people to, there's so many parts. Just because, yes, we are a tiny little thing and our scope of practice is narrow. But, from the moment the patient looks on our website, that has been very much intentional by someone like Mike, right? And the advancement team giving feedback, right? And then the phone has to work, and then the appointment request has to work, and you have to look at it, and you have to look at the schedule, and you have to navigate the so much goes into one appointment behind the scenes that a lot of our patients don't realize sometimes. And you guys are able to get to a point where you do it like riding a bike kind of situation, still keeping that high standard of care, still keeping that high standard of customer service to our patient, and making sure that she feels like whatever that's happening behind the scenes, she doesn't even need to know because it's just going to be taken care of. So from, the point of before even making that appointment to the point where she leaves our door, there are hundreds of steps in between that. And all of you play a part in making that happen. That's a big deal, guys.
It is. I say tiny but mighty.
Yes. Tiny but mighty. Exactly. Just like most Asian women. So yes, I agree.
Which all of us are, listeners.
Yes. Tiny but mighty. Okay, for me, accomplishments for this year. There's been so many. So many big milestones. I think this year I've seen the most fruit from just the many years that for my position, I've put in a lot of time and effort into kind of carving out a voice for our organization in conversations that are happening statewide and national wise. And I think this year specifically, and I'm not saying, we're this ginormous multi-million-dollar organization or anything like that, but for how small we are and the budget we have and everything, people from all across the country are calling me, and they're reaching out, and they're saying, how do you guys do this? With the small team that you have, with the small budget that you have, how can we replicate your model? How do we learn from you? And that continues to affirm that we're on the right path. And we have a solid board who sees this vision and this desire to love women from every stage of their reproductive health, whether when you're in your teens or in your late 80s. There is people who deeply care about people's healthcare because they understand that puts them on a path to a joyous and happy life. And we have an amazing board that continues to push all of us to and keep that at the forefront of our mission is like, how do we continue to serve women, children, men, and do what we can through our talents and our gifts. And we have one of those boards that I don't have to convince and pull and all of that stuff. They're very wise to see 3 years, 5 years down the road, this is where we need to be. And that's catching a lot of people's attention, not only in our state, but on a national level. So those types of things, I think, have been really cool for me to see catch on.
Right.
So I think that has
It's
been
so exciting, actually.
It is. It's exciting and it's scary.
There's change. Like, we're in the middle of some changes.
Yes.
On how to define women's health care and health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we get to be somewhat in the driver's seat of our own industry. We're invited to the table for that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And that's a really privileged position to be in. And I think it's due to, our staff giving it their all, and people are recognizing it. Not that we are like shouting it from the rooftop. It's things like the award. It's things like our podcast that catches on, and people are like, "Whoa, okay, I'm paying attention," and that's a really special place to be in.
Yeah. I do think that we are becoming a trusted resource for people who there's so much noise and so many different avenues of information that are conflicting. And we have there's a place they know they can come to us and hear the full scope of what's going on. And some of the reviews I've seen are so cool. Like one patient said something like, the provider helped me to figure out what's going on, what's really going on with my body.
Right.
That was really exciting. That meant there was real conversation going on and time spent to understand.
Our providers are so amazing. They spend an hour undisturbed for each patient, and they take their time. There's no rush. I hear often our patients saying, "Oh, like this is often better than places where we like that is for profit." Yeah. So it just goes to show that it's our team that makes the place. Yeah.
It really does. Yeah, and that's why I'm such a stickler about, who joins our team. And the environment and the space needs to be so protected because that's, again, it's really rare to receive that type of care and attention in the city.
So true. Yeah.
Okay, why does 3W's mission speak to you, Juliet? Why do you continue to stay and be our mom?
Oh, well, that's what moms do.
Other than us just being adorable, but
yeah, and then Helen's son Max comes in. My heart just melts.
No one gets any work done because he's answering all the phones.
He's so adorable. Oh my gosh, my heart melts.
Totally, right? Like, he's like a little man. He's just so charming.
He just runs around. Oh, he's so cute. He steals hearts left and right.
Yeah, and he knows it. He knows it. Don't let him get away with it.
Well, definitely what I've seen over the year, it's been about 14 months since I was hired. And what I've seen over this past year, not only quality care, not only quality just on our side, the branding and the marketing and the outreach. But as we were talking a little bit about just elevating women's healthcare and articulating and giving language to body literacy and then collaborating with other clinics in the state to really give the tools and find the right resources to articulate how to care for women in an excellent way. So that just added another layer, as I have been observing and learning so much over the year. It added another layer of why I want to be here, why I want to be part of this mission in particular. I'm often finding myself wishing if I had at age 12 known all this, it would have been a game changer because there's so many mysteries and amazing things about my body, but I was so confused and it wasn't taught well. I was body illiterate in so many ways. And so I'm excited that we are part of a voice that's giving solid information and hopefully starting at a young age, like from the time you're entering adolescence, a young lady can understand how incredible her body is and not despise or shy away or be afraid or confused, but just really be empowered and educated about the wonderful things that are going on in her body, even though it's an awkward stage, and not hate it, but embrace it. So this, I wish there were a 3W for me when I was in 6th grade and teaching me, and just, I think it would have made a huge difference. So I'm glad we're doing that now.
Yes. Yeah. How about you, Sujin?
I'm kind of going to build off of Juliet, but what I really love about our mission is our constant, strive to give informed consent to our patients. So, we constantly, are learning more, reading more articles, doing our research to make sure we're on top of that field. Not only that, but the resources we give out to our patients is nothing I've seen before. Because I believe that everyone should have they should know the whole story. They should know their options. But it's oftentimes in our medical fields that we often don't get that. We don't get the full story and we don't know all our options. And not only that, but it's just taking the time to understand women's body. Like this place, you never really see places for women. It's hard to see a space that's only for women oftentimes. Growing up, there was almost no education in our public systems. Even throughout college, you have to really go into classes. You have to look up specific classes to get that kind of. You have to seek it out exactly to get that education. It's not something that is mandatory. It is not something that's common knowledge. So I really appreciate that. That honestly drew me to this clinic, and definitely one of the bonuses.
Have you learned a lot
in your role? I think I definitely have. It's really amazing.
I don't know, just seeing how you have evolved in your position, right? Just I know that we met so organically, but then seeing you just consume the information, right? I hope that has helped you personally in your life.
It really has, because there's such a what's the word? Taboo, to learn about, growing up, I was told, oh, you have to hide, pad. That's so normal. Why do I have to hide that? It just, it didn't make sense. And people were telling me to be ashamed of it. It was supposed to be something that's wrong, but it's women's body. Every woman,
50% of the population bleeds.
Exactly. And the fact that there isn't more research out there and more it's not common knowledge is kind of baffling to me.
Yes, absolutely. I feel so many times we're just at the tip of the iceberg with women's health.
Totally.
That every year there's some new phenomenon or some new thing that comes out about women's health, and it's just women have been around for a long time, and we're just now scratching the surface on periods, which has been happening since the beginning of man. Come on, people, why are we still figuring that out? And we get to be kind of at that pivotal moment to influence the conversation, to move that needle, to continue to push and support women through whatever health issues they're dealing with, but also empowering the next generation, like Juliet said, to be aware of their bodies and how it is actually this beautiful, amazing vessel that needs to be not only protected and cared for, but held to a very high, dignified status. And I think when young women have that example, right? I think we're very cautious of just when a patient walks through the door of what type of language we use and what type of environment we're providing for her, right? Like I said, there's so many steps that go into a patient appointment, but it starts even from the music that is received in the front desk. It starts from the furniture we picked. It starts from the paint color that's on the wall. It's all very intentional. And that all resonates from us, a message of you are very well taken care of here, and you are very loved. And that starts the minute you walk through the door.
You're worth it.
Yes. Yeah. The minute you pick up the phone with Sujin, just things like that. And do we do it perfect every time? No, we're imperfect people doing this work. But the point is we try.
Yes.
I receive so many like patient surveys and comments saying like how well kept and clean the place is and how much they appreciate it. Yeah. So
is there a patient story, Sujin, that kind of sticks out for you this year? There's so many.
Yeah. Honestly,
is there one that you're like,
that's hard.
It's hard to pick?
Yeah, it's hard to pick.
I remember, I think I read that you translated for someone Korean.
Yeah. So this patient came in with her mother and they were like kind of talking in Korean and they were like not exactly following along what Dr. Rutherford was saying. So I kind of stepped in and I was explaining like the egg follicle and like how like there's like a, so we were looking at the image and we see like Dr. Rutherford likes to explain it as like a chocolate chip cookie and that's like where the egg drops from. So I was explaining that in Korean and telling her about the
Korean.
It just came out.
Chocolate chip cookie.
Oh my god, I love how Dr. Rutherford always thinks about chocolate. That's her kryptonite. It's chocolate. She's so funny. Of course, she has to think of not just a cookie, but a chocolate chip cookie.
It has like those circle-like chunks. Yeah,
that's so good. Yeah, I love those moments where we can bring in our natural kind of cultural gifts into a conversation with our patients because it really alleviates
stress,
the awkwardness or stress or like, am I fully understanding this? From this medical professional, I feel so out of depth, and then we could bring in someone that could speak that native language, and it's just like, oh my gosh, thank God,
like,
where have you been? Yes,
make that real connection. Yeah,
It must have helped a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
It's
so.
kind of scary when you're with a medical clinician and the language is not your first language, right?
Yes, absolutely. I love to hear Alexandra, our medical assistant, who speaks Spanish, but she's Polish. So she speaks Spanish in a Polish accent, and it's the best. I'm just like, I just love it. It's so unique, and people are always just like, oh, that is such a cool way of communicating. So I love that. Okay, why does 3W's mission continue to speak to me? Gosh, again, so many ways that I can express that. But, being here from the beginning to now, kind of, again, kind of breaks my mind, kind of blows my mind in so many ways. I think there's something about, I used to sit where Sujin sits, and pick up the phone and make appointments for patients, which I love to do. I love to play receptionist when I'm in the clinic with Sujin and she's in the back and I get to pick up the phone. And it really is nostalgic for me because it reminds me of where I personally started with the organization. Not just being just the founder, but really being able to immerse myself in all these different positions and now having people in those positions that can do it way better than me. But I get to see it from a point of like, I so appreciate what you do because I used to be in that spot and you have taken it and elevated it to this degree that I could have never done that. So 3W's mission not only impacts the lives of the women that walk in and give us a shot at impacting their healthcare, it changes us. It changes the staff. It changes the volunteers. It changes the clinicians who get to serve that patient, get to serve that individual. So we get to gain so much from it in so many different ways that I don't think people even imagine. It changes us. It changes assumptions that we have about people's lifestyle or the issues that they're going through. And it gives us an appreciation that no one's story is this cookie cutter, perfecting perfection, but it is unique in itself. And it has challenged for me a lot of stereotypes, a lot of assumptions that were made out of ignorance. And it changes the way I'm able to connect to people. I'm able to just see different topics in a different angle. And that is like real time, real time life stories, real time genuine situations that you're just like, oh my gosh, how do you deal with that? So the mission was set out to impact the community, and so much of it is ourselves. So much of it is,
for sure.
Yeah.
We are the community.
Yeah, we are the community. We get changed by it too. And I think sometimes our donors, I feel like I need to remind our donors, like that's a gift to us.
Yes.
That they've allowed for us to experience, and it changes us too.
Yes.
So
That's a good reminder.
Thank you, donors.
yeah, thank you, donors who give so generously that it's foolish of us to think that we come in knowing everything and that we're people's saviors. We're not.
No.
Not in the least. Not even for a second, right? But to really be like, okay, I'm going to learn from this experience, and I was so wrong, or I'm so enlightened by this new topic or experience that you're experiencing that I should be more gentle or more forgiving of the next person that I encounter that's going through that same situation. So in so many ways, it purifies us.
For sure, yeah. I'm so different from last year. The things that I've learned, okay, to be honest, I'm in my 50s, and I thought, okay, from the 50s on, kind of cruise, because I'm getting old, and I'm tired. So I came on board here, and I realized, no, there's a lot left to learn. Exactly. There's a lot left to give. There's a lot of shaping and transformation yet to be done in me. So that's a good reminder, Helen, that it's possible. So many things have been made possible by the donors, not just the women who come to be seen, but all of us as staff. It's been multi-layered.
Yes.
Multi-layered.
Yeah, and we're better people because of it. We're better because of it. So thank you again to the both of you for your contribution to our organization. We could not have made it through this year without the both of you and your talents and gifts that you bring to the table. It is unique and it is good. And every day, I always tell Juliet, when she's like, this is hard, I was like, I know, but you know how much harder it would be for me if you weren't here? So much harder. I will be a dying star. So thank you for sticking around. I hope you continue to stay on. And thank you for our listeners who show up and listen to our podcasts that are sometimes very silly and sometimes very informative. And I hope you enjoy it. Please let us know if there are any topics that you would like us to cover next year. We're always interested in talking about what you want to hear about. There's a slew of new guests that will be joining us for the new year, and I will continue to come in and be as curious as possible. Thank you for allowing us to serve you. If you're a patient this year with us, we hope that we met your needs. If you need us again, you know that you can reach out to us anytime. Please tell your friends, your family, anyone that needs us in the new year and on. So thank you, Sujin. Thank you, Juliet.
Thank you, Helen. And thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. Bye, guys.
Good job,
Bye.
Sujin.
Merry Christmas. Yes. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's. We love you. Bye.
For more information about 3W, please visit our website at 3wmedical.org. That's the number 3, the letter W, medical.org. From there, you can learn more information about the services we provide, book an appointment, or make a donation if you'd like to support our mission. You can also call our office at 206-588-0311. That's 206-588-0311. If you like this episode, please share it with others and consider subscribing on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, stay healthy and be well.